The Essential 55, an award-winning educator's rules for discovering the successful student in every child, by Ron Clark. edu104, Spring 2012, YouTube Book Project by Jillian Gray. Her name was Mother. She loved guiding light, collards, and snuff, and she was my grandmother. Ron Clark. The very first thing Mr. Clark does in his introduction is introduce his reader, not to himself, but to his grandmother. Mother stood right at 5 feet, but when she placed her hands on her hips, she was the tallest person in the room. Ron Clark. From Ron's introduction, we can see that his grandmother influenced his life in a huge way. Along with his parents, Ron was raised with respect, manners, and appreciation of others. What really drew me to this book was the fact that Mr. Clark's 55 rules are not just for students. They were not intended for first graders, third graders, or fifth graders. They were created for a person of any age, and I feel that is one reason why they work. Mr. Clark did not create a list of rules for students to abide by and adults to enforce. He created a set of rules for people of all ages and different walks of life to explore and to help one another grow as a person. Granted, the rules regarding homework, field trips, and substitute teachers may be specific to school, the proactive behavior and respect can be geared toward many situations. The fact that these rules are for both children and adults, I believe allows children to look at them with an open mind and feel as though we are holding them at higher standards because we know they can achieve great things. As an educator, I believe it is very important to create an environment of love and respect. I want my students to know in their hearts that I believe in them no matter how difficult a task may seem, and that even when a task appears difficult, the reward will be well worth it. There were so many great topics discussed in Mr. Clark's book, but considering this is a 3-minute long video, I decided I would pick 5 that I felt were most important. Rule 51. Live so that you will never have regrets. If there is something you want to do, do it. Never let fear, doubt, or other obstacles stand in your way. If there is something you want, fight for it with all of your heart. If there is something you want to do, go for it and don't stop until you make it happen. If there is something you want to be, do whatever is necessary in order to live that dream. Rule 11. Surprise others by performing random acts of kindness. Go out of your way to do something surprisingly kind and generous for someone at least once a month. Rule 36. If you approach a door and someone is following you, hold the door. If the door opens by pulling, pull it open, stand to the side and allow the other person to pass through it first. Then you can walk through. If the door opens by pushing, hold the door open after you push through. Rule 53. No matter what the circumstance, always be honest. Even if you have done something wrong, it is best to admit it to me because I will respect that and oftentimes I will forget any disciplinary measures because of you were being honest. Rule 55. Be the best person you can be. Thank you for taking the time to view my video. All rules and quotes were taken from The Essential 55, an award-winning educator's rules for discovering the successful student in every child, by Ron Clark.